Hey there friends and enemies, JoPaWrites here again, and today I've got another Destiny 2 video for you guys as I want to showcase a Strand Warlock build that utilizes a couple new things in the game that I find to be very fun. And I don't see a lot of other people running a similar build or similar style, so I figured this would be a perfect showcase so that way I can tell you why this works so well in my personal opinion. And it all starts with the brand new exotic chest piece for the Warlock, the Matiodoxia. Now, I probably said that incorrectly, but this thing is a ton of fun. It has the armor perk Stylostixis that says, targets damaged by Arcane Needle emit a suspending detonation when defeated, and landing multiple Arcane Needles on the same target immediately triggers a larger, more powerful detonation. Defeating suspended targets grants melee energy. Your Arcane Needles are strong against barrier champions. So, you really want to lean into suspending enemies obviously with this, but it works very, very well. If you hit an enemy with a single needle and you kill them, they will suspend enemies nearby. And if you hit a larger, tankier enemy with all three needles, then you will actually suspend everything else nearby. And sometimes that enemy, if it is not a boss, to where you can't suspend it at all. So keep that in mind, but also being strong against barrier champions is kind of nice as well. I'm combining this with the final warning, mostly because there was a brand new catalyst that dropped this season. I got right away. I figured I would work on it. I never really used the final warning previously. I didn't like the feel of it, but now with the catalyst, I think it's definitely worthwhile. So the final warning has the intrinsic trait all at once. Holding down the trigger marks targets within range and loads multiple bullets, which fire in a burst with increased stability on trigger release. Hitting a marked target with a fully charged burst will unravel them. Unraveling them is very, very nice. You're going to create a lot of tangles. It also has the pick your poison trait. Hip firing, projectiles will track marked targets, dealing increased body shot damage on impact, and then aiming, projectiles have greatly increased velocity and deal extra critical hit damage to marked targets. And then finally, with the catalyst, hits against marked targets deal increased damage and have a chance to refund ammo to the magazine. The ammo part is okay, but the damage is fairly noticeable. I'm also using the Eremite with Envious Assassin and Controlled Burst. I don't need to worry about ad clear based on my needles as well as the final warning as much, so I have something here that can really take down chunkier enemies really quickly. So this is very nice. I really like this one. And then also I'm using the brand new Pro Memoria. This is the new Strand heavy machine gun with reconstruction and bait and switch. Again, this one is fantastic. With reconstruction, you have a ton of ammo. So highly recommend chasing a roll for that if you haven't already. As far as the subclass goes, standard Broodweaver, Needle Storm Super. Then I use a Healing Rift as well as the Bounce Glide, but that doesn't really matter. Arcane Needle obviously is going to be the main one here. You can't really change that, so it doesn't matter. And then finally, we are using Shackle Grenade. Again, I want to suspend enemies as often as possible, but I'm not actually throwing the grenade. I am going to use the Mindspun Invocation to hold and consume the Shackle Grenade and activate Weaver's Trance. So final blows while Weaver's Trance is active create a suspending detonation. So essentially you will have that suspending ability for longer as long as you consume your grenade like that. Then I've also got the Wanderer, so tangles you throw attached to targets and detonate in a suspending burst. Obviously here, suspending everything as much as possible. Destroying a tangle creates a suspending burst after a short delay. Threadling final blows create a tangle. So as far as my threads, I got Propagation, so powered melee final blows grant unraveling, which is nice. Then we've got Thread of Wisdom, defeating suspended target grants orbital power, also very good. Defeating suspended targets grants class ability. Thread of Mind, so you have your Rift all the time. And then Thread of Warning, picking up orbital power grants Woven Mail. Very, very nice there. Now, as far as the mods go, I'm running Double Strand Siphon and Heavy Ammo Finder, bolstering detonation, firepower, and fastball. Then we've got the melee damage resist and strand resist, and then double strand weapon search, better already, and then finally distribution bomber, and then powerful attraction. I was using this under leveled in the expert version of the new episodic activity, so if you are doing that, the powerful attraction will attract the orbs that drop on the ground, the little cubes. So definitely use that if you have not already, because it is going to work in your favor. Now, the main artifact perk you want to really focus on is going to be the Shield Crush one, so that way while you have Woven Mail, your melee recharges faster and deals increased damage. Obviously that works out really, really well with this build. Prismatic Transfer is nice if you're running a fire team with different supers in it, and then also Threaded Blast, destroying a Tango with Strand Weapon creates a larger, more damaging explosion. So obviously that's very, very nice overall. And the rest of them, having on like Unstoppable Sidearm, because you are using a sidearm, does help as well if you need to take down champions. But the gameplay loop is pretty straightforward. You're going to start off by either using a threaded needle or consuming your grenade, and once you do that, that's when you're going to start suspending everything and anything you possibly can. And I have found this to be incredibly effective if you are underleveled or in activities where you are struggling because there's a lot of ads, you're overwhelmed, anything like that. So I do find this build to be very, very fun. It is very similar to the Osteo build from last season, which got nerfed, and this kind of slides right in for a very nice Suspend build in its place. Suspend has been weakened a little bit, but with this build, it doesn't feel like that at all, because you're able to continuously suspend things all the time, and because you're unraveling so many enemies, they just die really easily. It is a ton of fun. And again, in the gameplay that you're seeing, I was very much underleveled. The power cap is 2005 and I was 1986, so obviously I was 20 under and having no problems dealing with enemies whatsoever. So because of that, I think this is the type of build that can be very useful across all different types of content, and I just find it to be very fun. This sidearm is one that there's not a lot of similar options in the game that are like it, and with the new catalyst, it feels so much better than it previously did, in my personal opinion. It does feel like it does pretty decent damage, even to yellow bar enemies at times. So I really like this. I am very excited to finally add this to my arsenal, and I hope a lot more people try out not only the Final Warning, but also the brand new exotic chest armor, the Matadoxia. So if you want to build a make a Suspend build, then that's the one for you. And it will work with Prismatic as well. So you could definitely adjust this and run Prismatic instead if you want to. It just won't be as effective. I know Prismatic is very nice. It's very versatile. It does a lot of different things, but unfortunately it doesn't specialize quite as well as the specific subclasses. So Broodweaver is just going to be a bit of a better option for this one. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, hit the like button. If you want to see more Destiny 2 content from me going forward, like the video, comment, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff shows that you want to see more content of this nature, which I really do appreciate. My name is JoPa. Have a good one. I'll catch you all later.